to say that 370 has such a permanent character in the Constitution that it can never be amended would be, it's a very, very difficult proposition. Because suppose the state itself had said, that's why to Mr. Sibal also I posed the question.
Yes.
Suppose the state itself says that we want all laws to apply to 370. Then where does 370 go? Apart from the chipping issue which has occurred over a period of time. So then we will really come back to the process. Was this the process permissible or not? That would be the question. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. We might have different perceptions of it, but let me share my perspective with the lordships. If we don't want Article 370, answer to this question will first depend on, as on today, on 5th of August 2019, was it still temporary, or because of the passage of time, non-availability of the machinery originally contemplated by Article 370, had it become, despite being in Part 21, showing temporary, marginal note showing temporary, it had become permanent. Permanent in the sense because the machinery was not available to remove it. Now, I'll just I'll clear it more.
Testing this proposition, Mr. Shah. Suppose that machinery was to be created, can it be removed? Is your argument that it? See, when you say it has acquired a permanent character, if the machinery, which according to you is the appropriate machinery, and which did not exist for 370 to be amended.
Yes.
If that machinery was to be recreated or created or in existence, then 370 could be removed.
Yeah, if that machinery was recreated, that is Constituent Assembly recreated. But which Constituent Assembly? Police here, subsection 2. Just for I am aware of a lot of observations my lords are making. Police sheet as subsection 2. And I would seek your lordship's consideration also on that. If the concurrence of the government of the state referred to in paragraph 2 of subclause B of clause 1 or in the second provisional subclause D of that clause be given before the Constituent Assembly for the purpose of framing the Constitution. So it is identifying which Constituent Assembly they are talking of. And please go back to subclause 3. Notwithstanding anything contained in the foregoing of this article, the President may by public note declare that this article ceases to be operative or shall be operative only with such exceptional modifications and from provided that the recommendation of the Constituent Assembly of the state referred to in clause 2. Referred to in clause 2. Today, if your lordships were to direct a you form a Constituent Assembly, my submission would be
a little different. I am saying, suppose as COs have been issued from time to time, and according to you, by concurrence of the state government or the assembly, were there an assembly, was there a state government which says that all the provisions of the Constitution will apply? What would be the scenario?
When our state government says all the provisions of the Constitution will apply, they will say so how? Outside 370 or within 370? They have to say so that only through 370.
Right.
That is the route.
That's the route. So therefore, once they are able to say so under 370, except that 370 remains in form.
Yeah, then it remains a form. It remains a skeleton. Very true.
It's just a shell.
But the root is one. What's important is root is one. So if you take away 370, let us take away 370.
Even now, in a sense, 370 is not removed in that sense. What has happened is that whatever remained of 370 inside, in their wisdom or lack of it, whichever way you may put it, they've utilized the machinery of 370 to remove whatever was left in 370. That is what has happened.
Kindly appreciate. First of all, who can remove 370 is one question. The lord's observation is that if the government of the state.
The process we have not come to. Process is separate. You have an argument on that look, this is not the process by which it could have been done. That's it.
Now, if you wanted to do it completely, aren't we going back to the original position? If you want to completely integrate, then we have to get rid of 370. We have to get rid of instrument of accession which said 3, then we have to execute merger agreement. Because I was an independent state. We go back to the roots.
The roots, Mr. Shah, and you rightly said over a passage of time, the merger agreement, the 370, there were developments which took place, historical developments. Then after that, 370 came, it was to govern. Then over a period of time, different matters, as you say, chip by chip, 370 was the effectiveness of 370 in terms of preserving the right in the states to lay down the law was chipped away over a period of time.
Yes, yes,
Something still remained.
yes.
That something which still remained, they did it by a process of 370. Whether that process was right or process was wrong is the second limb of the argument, that they could not have done this or they could have done this in this manner. So they have also left now still a 370, but effectively making all laws applicable. So my only query is that doesn't it all come down to one thing, whether the process they followed to do so was flawed?